Hello guys, my name is Kirks, and today I'm going to be bringing you something a little bit different. I know Football Manager 14 is not going to be coming out until November, around that sort of time, but I'm just going to be going through what I would like to see in Football Manager 14, because Manager 13 has been a reasonable game, but I do think there are areas where it could be improved, and there's just a few suggestions, so please let me know what you think of my ideas. So, number one is managing the reserves. I think it would be a reasonably good idea if you were, say, managing a League One or Championship team, and you could then go to manage Arsenal reserves if the post became available. And if you then did a good enough job, you may eventually be able to become the first team manager of that team. I quite like this idea because it's just a different way to work your way up from lower leagues to higher leagues. But it could be a little boring as you wouldn't have a transfer budget because you're the reserve team manager. But you'd obviously get to use a bigger team, and you would have a league because you have reserves leagues in places and things like that. So I think it would be a reasonably good idea. Number two is it should be easier to get a job when you start unemployed at a reasonable club. So, for instance, you set yourself up as a former international player. You start unemployed, and it takes forever to actually find a job where you're even thought about, and it ends up being a blue square team. Now, I know you could start with a club, but a lot of people like to make it realistic and start unemployed. I personally don't, but I think it would be good if then you'd be offered a job at something a little bit higher. So, say after 10 games or something, a team bottom of League 1 or 2 who haven't won a game and have sacked their manager, they could offer you the job, because that is what happens quite a lot in the lower leagues. If they're bottom of the league, they'll offer it somebody who hasn't really been heard of, but has got a good track record as a player. So I think that would be a really good idea. Number three is vital, in my opinion, is being informed by a player's agent if they've received a better contract offer, so you have the opportunity to match it. Because many a time in the games I've been talking to a player, we've agreed a fee with the club, we've agreed a wage package, everything seems to be going well, and then out of nowhere they join another club who aren't necessarily as good as you because they offered a higher wage. Now, in real life, the agent would tell his client that would tell you that his client has received a better offer, so that you would have the opportunity to match it. They don't automatically just say, yeah, we'll accept this offer, this offer, this offer. Oh, we've had a better offer, we'll go there. They always give you chance to match that offer, as quite a lot of people do like to go there. Um, Number four is being able to talk to the press about offers for your managerial services at other clubs instead of just leaving. I mean, for instance, I did a save with Watford and I got them promoted. Everything was going pretty well. We were a mid-table Premiership team, but Napoli offered me but Napoli had the role of manager, and I applied for it. And obviously, the Watford board went mental at me, telling me to either withdraw the offer to manage Napoli or to leave their club. Now, if you could hold a press conference, obviously explaining that Napoli's a great club, I've enjoyed what I've done at Watford, blah 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 blah. Watford, the board could then either respect your decision and say that you're still welcome at Watford, or they could still go down that route. Also, when you've left, I think it'd be a good idea if you could hold a press conference, saying thank you to your old club and explaining why you might have left. Because at the moment, all it is, oh, I'll apply for this job, and then you get a message off the board saying they will terminate your contract if you don't stop trying to get a different job. So, number five is more varied press conferences. Now, every single year in Football Manager, they seem to just keep the press conferences absolutely identical. I mean, you have a question, another question, another question, and they're the same questions after every match and before every match. Something along the lines of, what is your strongest part of your team? Or, so-and-so had a really good game today. What do you rate? What do you think of his performance? And it's boring, and to be fair, it's a part of the game, which ruins the experience at the moment. I think it could be it could really add to the game if the press conferences were varied and interesting. But you do tend to get a lot of people who just click through the second answer down or the third answer down and just leave it at that because they don't really care and they find the press conferences pretty boring. I mean, a lot of people I know just send their assistant because they don't really care. So number six is, this is a bit of a weird one, but players could have a personality outside of football. So in real life football, obviously, you do get players missing a game, and you do get players who've, you know, like Balotelli, who's been caught in a nightclub the night before the big game, absolutely smashed off his face. I know that at the moment there is the feature of so and so has turned up late to training, but that's just one feature. So what if players, I don't know, they were forced to miss a game because their wife's pregnant, or they were caught in a nightclub, or they were caught down at a different club talking to that manager and you had to sort things out, just add a bit more realism to the game and make it a bit more interesting, a bit more interactive with the player, instead of it just being, oh, pick the tactics, we'll play the game, pick the tactics, play the game. And the final suggestion I have is complete control on attacking. At the moment, if you go attacking, you tend to play quite narrow and you just attack. And if you play defensive, you seem to go really wide and that. And there's no way to set your tempo of whether you want to play really fast attacking football or slow, nice build-up play. I know there is the pass the ball about keep possession, but for instance, you have a team like Arsenal and Swansea who play nice football, passing it around, get the ball into the box, eventually about 40 passes before they finally score a goal. And then you have other teams where they just play very attacking football, but they'll just sit back, soak up the pressure, and then go massively on the counter-attack and string together about 10 quick passes in a row, and they're in behind. Also, you could tell individual players to rest for 10 minutes, which I don't think that is a feature in the game. It might be, because I'm not 100% sure on it, but I think it'd be good, because in real life football, if one of your left backs getting very tired, you could say, just take a breather for 10 minutes, stay in defence, don't push forward. Whereas in the game, you either have to change all his tactics and everything for 10 minutes and then change them back, or you've just got to let him keep going and get absolutely knackered. So guys, these have been my thoughts on what I would like to see in Football Manager 2014. Football Manager 2013 hasn't been a bad game, but I do think it could be a lot better. And I think that if they were to implement, maybe not all of these, but quite a few of them, it would improve the game drastically. So guys, once more, thanks for watching this video. Please leave a like, drop a like, subscribe to my channel and comment. I've been Kirks, and thank you for watching. Also, please leave in the description anything you think would be interesting to see in Football Manager 2014. And let me know what you think of my suggestions, whether you think that they are decent suggestions and you'd enjoy that in the game, or whether you think they're complete and utter garbage and you don't really know why I'm talking about them. Just put that in the comment section. Thank you guys, and peace.